how do they always start the pitches in Shark Tank? It's like, good afternoon, sharks. Today I have a business proposal for you. I think that instead of Netflix creating like spin-off TV series and sequels and whatever they're doing for Wet Hot American Summer, I think Mark Cuban, Mr. Wonderful, I see that you're entangling yourself in cinema these days. Yes. Marty Supreme, I see you. Mr. Wonderful, I think you should give me however much money they used to make this movie in 2001. Adjust for inflation. Sure. That's all I ask. Yeah. And I'm going to make a spin-off, a sequel, what have you, a cold, dry Canadian winter. And it's going to be like ski resort camp or something. We're gonna do camp again, but it's gonna be winter
in the lodge.
It's gonna be very and we'll do a lot of Canadian stereotypes.
Is it still last day of winter?
We're gonna do break. We'll do the exact same
plot.
Whatever, but just get me and my friends up to Saskatchewan. We'll film on location, and I guarantee that it will be something.
Okay. Who would you cast in this production?
Oh, I don't know. Well, we have to, much like this movie, we have to find the next generation of SNL talent. So we have to really lock in with a good casting director.
On here? Was anyone in this movie on SNL besides, Molly, obviously, and Amy? Who else?
I don't know. That might be. I don't really... I don't know too much about, you know what I mean, though.
Sure, yeah.
Like sketch comedians.
Yeah.
Some of these men, I'm like, I don't know who that is. And
can tell you.
This movie came out in 2001. I was narrowly alive.
Yeah.
And
just barely.
I just watched this movie for the first time.
Yeah. Wet Hot American Summer.
For our camp theme for the podcast that you're listening to right now, which is The Swamp, which it is an acronym.
Stands for some whack-ass movie podcasting.
And we're coming at you from the last day of camp. It's feeling
we're on the lake.
It's the end of August.
Of course.
We're wrapping up the summer. And
starting to get a little cool. The leaves are just starting to look like they might have a little life going.
I wore socks today.
I'm in jeans.
Wow. Crazy.
We're also in both of our bandanas.
Yeah, well, because I watched this movie last night, but like in sort of a state.
In a fugue state.
In a fugue state. And then you came over and we watched it again. But I feel
also
like
in a fugue state.
The character of Jean really
did a lot for you. Well, also, you looked at me when he first popped on screen and said, "Did you know that my husband Hank has been told he looks like this man 600,000 times?" And so obviously...
And then you kind of see it and you're like, wait.
You're like, well, yeah, and then that's your man.
And then this man's like prancing around in a little crop top. And I'm like...
Acting cuckoo bananas.
So, a little heart eyes for Gene. Christopher Maloney is the actor's name, and he is on Law & Order SVU.
I never watched that, did you? I just watched it on TikTok.
And basically, it's people's way of telling Henry that he's like a handsome young man who is also bald.
Yes.
They're like, yeah, you're really pulling it off. Like that guy from Law & Order.
It works for you.
Yeah, you're gonna just have a big forehead anyways. So seems like that's the direction that was always going.
Yeah, slap a beard on it
for you. But yeah, so 2001.
Yes.
I had never seen this movie.
Neither had I.
It's 2025. We're coming at it with a very different political landscape. I'm trying to be generous. And honestly, there are parts of this movie that really surprised me. And it didn't surprise me that this movie kind of flopped in 2001.
It makes sense. Well, right after Christopher Maloney humped the fridge, I turned to you and I said, yeah, I can understand why this bombed in the box office in 2001.
But then I think it became somewhat of a cult classic. But to be honest with you, I had never seen this movie. And I think I kind of meshed together in my mind the cultural references of this movie, American Pie.
Yeah, well, it's essentially,
but like also maybe like National Lampoon Family Vacation, like throw that in there.
Interesting.
Like all of those kind of feel like they occupy
a similar space.
Well, because I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah.
So it's like those stupid comedy, like, summer movies.
Sure.
With the big ensemble cast.
Yeah.
A bunch of white people.
American Pie definitely fits this category for sure.
Like the flute in the pussy. I'm like, I know the band camp. I know one was going to be about band camp. Of course. But this one is like just horny camp.
Which we do get Amy Poehler playing the lute while marrying a gay Bradley Cooper to his lover.
Oh my God, Michael Ian Black. That is the thing that surprised me.
That was my biggest jump scare in this one, Mr. Bradley Cooper.
It was his first movie role ever, apparently, which is hilarious because
you can't tell.
Once you kind of know that, you were like, oh, you can tell he like really wanted to be there and like show up for it. Like,
he locked the fuck in. I think he did gay in a respectful way.
Well, this movie did gay in a respectful way, which is why I like the whole 2001 of them all. I was like, wait.
I'm sorry, the Crate and Barrel Chaise Lounge gag.
You think they're going to get like outed or like hate crimed or something? They're like, we bought you a Crate and Barrel Chaise Lounge. Hilarious. So the plot of this movie is basically just that there's a summer camp. Everyone's fucking. Everyone's horny. The campers who are literal children.
The counselors
who are supposed to be like 16. They're supposed to be, you know, like teens, but they're played by 30-year-olds. And it's very much like played up for laughs. Like these are literal adults. And we're like, I'm 16. Like, it was self-aware.
Sure.
In that sense.
Yeah.
But then there's also a subsect of adults who are supposed to be like 30, who are like the camp director and fucking Niles from Frasier.
I'm sorry. I have to get it off my chest, just point blank from this, from the jump. The woman who played the camp director,
Janine Garofalo,
was just like distractingly bad.
Yeah.
I think that there are a lot of things about this movie that I would say were not amazing and lacked luster, but she was my number one. It really killed me because she was in just about every other scene too. And it was just like, even if you had a star there, Janine was just stinking it up the whole time.
Yeah, it's almost like you wonder if she was sort of supposed to be like the straight man character, but it wasn't really working out. I don't know. Like, I feel like you can tell that this movie had a lot of different writers, and with this whole ensemble cast,
that's for sure.
It's sort of like you can tell like different bits and different, you know, improv. You can, you know, I bet they let them like have a little fun with it.
Yeah.
That sometimes it's working and sometimes it's not. Like, it's literally like a scene to scene, bit to bit, like literal dice roll.
It's straight
like,
up.
Will it hit or will it not?
It's straight up like this movie when it's good, it's really good.
Every scene with Amy Poehler,
of course,
so fucking funny.
I would say 50%. The other 50% of this movie stinks.
Yeah, like big. We're swinging big.
Big wet dookie.
We're swinging big and we're hitting big sometimes. We're also really missing.
Well, can I say something maybe controversial?
Sure.
Is that I am not charmed by Paul Rudd in the slightest.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen a show or a movie in it where he really got the giggles out of me. I think, and we were talking about this while we watched, he sits on a Ryan Reynolds scale.
Right, yeah. It's sort of like that circle of guys that you could sort of throw a stone and you're like, I'm sure when they're casting, they all get a call. You know?
Of course, yeah.
And it would be like the Ryan Reynolds, the Paul Rudds, maybe even, you know, the Bradley Coopers.
Yes,
and it's kind of the same age bracket, you know. They win Sexiest Man Alive and you're sort of like, oh.
And I'm unsettled.
They're like,
really unsettled by it.
Like Disney paid People Magazine for that to happen so that they could promote Ant-Man.
Yeah, of course.
Weird.
Of course.
Weird that we're still calling it that and not just like Guy of the Year. Or something.
Yeah.
Like, we should just change the name. They should call it like Men's Empowerment or something. And it would just be better for everyone, honestly.
Just be honest about it.
Yeah, just
be honest about it. Because I don't think, like, yes, Paul Rudd was a handsome man. He's just a guy now. And in this movie, I find him also pretty distractingly, like, unfunny.
Yeah, I don't love him either. I really like Tim Robinson, the comedian. From I Think You Should Leave. Many would know him from. But my husband and I, we watch like almost all of his stuff. Like his specials
I'm sure you
and
saw
stuff. But I haven't seen that movie. And honestly, like the only reason we're like hesitant to watch it is we're like, I do not fuck with Paul Rudd. And I'm like, I do not believe that they can make that work and that it's gonna like not make me uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's the point, but Yeah, I've heard really mixed reviews. Friend of the pod, Matt Bacon, said it was dog shit, and then friend of the pod, Alyssa, said it was amazing. So
interesting. And maybe it's where you stand on Tim Robinson's kind of really aggressive and uncomfortable
cringe
kind of comedic timing.
Oh yeah, it's like punishment,
right? But it's almost like I don't think Paul Rudd can like take it. He was 32 in this movie. I feel like he's still really young. That's crazy. He looked great. Oh my god, and Elizabeth Banks.
Oh my god, Pittsfield legend Elizabeth Banks.
Local legend Elizabeth Banks. If you'd like to come, if you'd like to fund cold, dry Canadian winter, she really is about.
Please, no, for real.
She is so cool. She's actually all about like uplifting women in comedy, and I feel like you can sort of see her career trajectory of like that she was given this role as like hot blonde babe.
Of course.
A lot, but like I feel like
I think she ran with it.
She ran with it, and I feel like she saw how you could make it work from like a production side, which is probably why she's so into directing and writing. She
does a fantastic job.
Because I feel like you always, as a woman, you have to be thinking about that side of it too. You can't just trust that the people in charge are going to do what's best for you, because that's probably not true. Mm-hmm. So
you're going to have to take things into your own hands a little bit.
And her, being a smart and capable young woman.
Well, of course.
Really rapping her. And that's why we got Cocaine Bear, okay?
Yes, exactly.
The trials and tribulations that Elizabeth Banks has been.
Did she do all of the... Did she direct...
She directed Cocaine Bear.
Pitch Perfect, though. Was she producing that?
I believe so.
Okay. I was gonna say, what's she got on her docket?
I feel like she's always got her fingers in the, in the production side of it too. The scene in this movie where she has barbecue sauce on her face and she's like, Paul Rudd, make out with me. And he's like, no. And she's like, come on, just do it. I feel like that is like a litmus test for like someone you think is hot. Like, at what point would it give you the ick? And what sauce would it be? Like, covered in ranch. Like, would you still mount up and make out if their face was covered in ranch dressing?
Ranch is tough. I feel like the creamy sauce is really tough. Even barbecue is also tough.
And it's like within that Venn diagram that you have to find the middle ground that you're comfortable with accepting within yourself, like honey mustard.
So what was the question? What's my hard no, or what's?
It's something to think about, When you're like, oh, that person is hot, but like, would I still bang if they were covered in honey mustard?
Probably. Honey mustard is not bad.
Probably, yeah.
Blue cheese, that's a tough one.
Oh, no.
You couldn't do that.
Anything that's too much like a salad dressing.
I feel like
the barbecue sauce was gross too.
Barbecue sauce was gross. I would say like hot sauce and blue cheese.
It tastes like a burger. I don't like you anymore. Some of his line deliveries in this were pretty funny, but I agree. I'm generally not charmed by him, and I was surprisingly charmed by Bradley Cooper with his gay little.
Oh my god! It was he had maybe 5 lines. It was perfect, and he was just background noise, like a background noise for Amy Poehler half the time, and even that he was really good at. I think he complimented her well, and her hair. I'll tell you what,
she was looking.
Her hair was phenomenal.
Right.
Some of these wigs, insane.
Yeah. So the hair, which it was
hilarious. It was set in what, the 80s? Is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Which abominable hairstyling, but still some of it. I don't know. Amy really looked great. Amy always looks great.
The way that was so real that they were like, "You want a makeover?" and then they just pushed all of her hair to one side of her head.
Exactly. Just flopping all the way to the others.
What's the camp director's name?
Beth.
So we got this whole subplot with Beth and Niles, and that's what I'm going to call. I don't know his name. His name was Henry.
Yeah, it gave me exactly nothing.
Niles from Frasier lives next door to the camp.
Sure.
And it's like, I'm an astrophysicist. And she's like, you should come teach the kids. And he's like, no, that's a boundary I have. And she's like, okay. And then she leaves. And he's like, damn, I kind of want to hit though. So he goes to the camp and he's like, where are the indoor kids? Which I thought was very funny.
Give me the weirdos,
and
please.
He's like, okay, who wants to like do some space projects or whatever? And we get basically these like 2 parallel storylines of like him and Beth. They're interested in each other and they're like trying to learn more about each other's interests, which is like actually kind of cute and like a nice thing that they show, you know, they're like actually taking the time, and that he does it to her as well. You know, I feel like in a lot of, again, early 2000s, like it'd be like she needs to get his attention.
Yes, it's very like approval seeking.
But you know, he's also nervous and wants to learn more about camp directing so that they have more to talk about.
Of course.
Really shouts out to Niles. But then also that he like detects that a piece of spacecraft is gonna come to Earth, and that he, you know, they need to detect where it is.
Sure.
And that all the kids, they like build this machine that's like got, you know, a Spam container
donuts
to it, and then they're like, we need to randomly produce numbers between 1 and 20, and you know, it's like ramping up to like we're all gonna die in 90 minutes, like apocalyptic scenario.
Yeah.
And then I also like the timing of the movie ramps up because their relationship starts feeling really intense too, right? It's like, baby, you're gonna get tenure at your work if you win the award. It's like, you met him 6 hours ago.
It's amazing.
This is hilarious. Random man conjures a gust of wind as the final,
no explanation. It's fucking awesome.
Final act of the talent show.
No, this movie is obviously one that was written flat out stoned, and like in a way that someone was talking to me the other day and said, like horror movies are all just like written like here's the beginning and here's the end, and like you just figure out how you're gonna get there in between.
Right.
That's exactly how this movie felt to me.
Right. Or
it's so nonsensical.
It was based entirely off of like skits and bits.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
of course.
All like different,
it's
like
just
gags
a
and
modge
together, and then, you know, how do we get to the end of the day in the funniest possible way? Which, you know, did we achieve somewhere along the way?
I'd say I'd give it like a B-, maybe.
But the places that I'm really up on are like the scenes that relied heavily on like visual gags and time scaling, like when they go into the town. And things ramp up so fast, like 0 to 100. They go into the town, and it gets kicked off with the funniest joke of the whole movie. But I don't even know if it's the funniest like joke per se, but just line delivery. When the other like adult woman, overseer of the camp, runs up to the van, and she's like, "My husband's coming to town this weekend. I need you to get me some lube for my pussy."
She was one of my favorites, and she was another one that only had maybe 5 or 10 lines. Right. But she also I was impressed with.
But her delivery on that
my pussy
sent me because everyone at this camp is just getting
it on. Yeah, if you're 16 and you are away from your parents, it's exactly,
Did you ever go to a horny summer?
No, I know you have. Yeah, no, I actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. I did go to I went to I wouldn't say that it was inherently horny, but I was definitely horny at band camp.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Not like marching band camp. I went like away and like stayed at a college or whatever kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think an important part of the camp experience is being removed from the people you go to high school with.
Yes. Anything is possible.
Yes, you can be anyone at camp. This is vital.
Which is like so funny because obviously like that's the place where weird kids should thrive.
The gay plot line again.
Yeah.
The scaling up of like 0 to 100, like McKinley. Oh no, we got to get McKinley laid. We're making this whole plan, and he's like this slow, intimate sex scene that feels like it lasts 45 minutes between fucking
so
Michael Ian Black and Bradley Cooper, like in this shed.
This role really prepared him for the Leonard Bernstein biopic.
Yeah, he's been doing gay for pay
since the beginning,
on a scale like no other.
The only other thing that, like, off the top of my head had me cracking up was the kids genuinely getting thrown out of the van.
Oh my god.
Like, that was not a rag doll. That was a real child.
All of the... Yeah, like, Paul Rudd wasn't funny, but the bit involving Paul Rudd
having to kill...
murdering multiple children because he's too busy making out with Elizabeth Banks, like, that is funny.
Yeah.
Oh, but Stan from The Big Bang Theory...
Well, of course.
...gets introduced, and he's like... As someone who watched this twice... like the second time around, I like noticed a lot of smaller funny things. Like he was like throwing sand up in the air to like measure the wind. Like the first time the character is introduced, like really little things that he's always like licking his finger and putting. He's always like monitoring the wind, which is really funny.
I like that.
But he's like the weird, awkward guy at camp.
This is like the autistic man on TikTok who thinks he can conjure the wind tornadoes.
But he kind of can.
He low-key can. Mm-hmm. I'm like, baby, I saw it. Molly Shannon.
Oh my god, so Molly Shannon's character is Gail. She's also like one of the more adults at the camp. So
of course, yeah, she's 32.
She's 32. And
just divorced newly from Ron.
She's like this hysterical woman who immediately starts like oversharing with this group of children, which is honestly not an unrealistic scenario.
No.
Were you ever like absurdly young and an adult would start telling you some personal shit and you were like, oh my god, dude, I'm 11.
Oh,
like, what is going on here? I feel like that happened to me kind of a lot.
I remember we had the most insane, I think you had her as well, this insane English teacher when we were in 7th grade, I think. And she made us all write letters to her unborn baby.
Weird.
Do you remember this? Were you part of this?
Yeah.
Did you have to do that? Yeah. Teachers are bizarre. You can really, especially like the American education system is in shambles. No one is checking these bitches. Not when I was there. I'm sure not now.
There are a lot of good teachers too.
Absolutely.
Not saying all teachers are crazy.
Some of y'all are really doing like the Lord's work.
Yeah, real. But I feel like everyone has had an experience where you're like too young of a kid and you're like, why are you telling me the gruesome details of your divorce?
Exactly. Like, I'm like, girl, this is not appropriate.
Weird.
Mm-mm.
But as a kid, you're kind of like, well, what else am I going to do other than sit here and listen? Which is what the kids in the art class that she's
exactly. You're really being held hostage.
And they're kind of like listening to her and they're trying to hype her up and give her advice. Mm-hmm. And there's this one kid.
They're therapizing her.
This one kid in particular who's really like, let's do some role play. I'll pretend to be the ex-husband. Like, what would you say? And then he gives her a neck massage. And then like at the end of the film, it's like they're walking off together and they're like, oh, well, she has her big moment.
Sure.
Where her ex comes back. Who was that man? He's also like some
I have no idea.
Comedian guy. I felt like I was supposed to recognize him when he came in, but I was like, I don't know who that is. But she, tells him off and everyone claps. But then she's leaving with the child. Which like saying it out loud is very wrong, but it did make me laugh. It did make me laugh, but this movie does, I would say, on one of the overall places where it missed for me, like aging not well, is just like the whole if a young man is being pursued by a much older woman, it's played off for laughs. Yeah, where that is assault. Like we see one of the teen counselors like macking on a literal kid.
Oh yeah,
as part of a joke. Like she's so horny she'll make out with anyone. Like she's like a literal child. Which let's hope they got a 32-year-old man with the vibes of a 12-year-old for that role. Let's hope. It doesn't feel like we're living in a reality where we still treat this like as assault and that it's bad, but we seem to all know when an adult man does it to a young boy, absolutely, we all know that is wrong. Absolutely. But when it's an adult woman, it's still like we still kind of play that off today, and like that is still something that I'm like, I cannot believe we are still doing this. Like I know it was 2001, but the way it didn't even feel that dated, I'm like, ew.
No, not at all.
Another part of this movie that did not really sit well with me, that I as a viewer just decided to overlook, but when you give it some level of critical thought, you're like, damn, in 2001 the whole character of Gene is basically that he's a Vietnam vet with untreated PTSD, maybe a little bit of schizophrenia. He's talking to himself, he's talking to the vegetable can. I'm like,
unfortunately, this one did make me laugh more than the other one.
I choose to live in the reality where everything in this movie is so absurd. Like, they're doing heroin out in the town and coming back in 10 minutes, and it's fine. Like, him talking to the vegetable can, as far as I'm concerned, like, that also happened. Like, whatever. And I guess that's maybe why, as a viewer, I was like, I'm suspending it, because they're all really supportive of him, too. Like, you humped that fridge, Gene.
That's the funny thing is, like, there's not a whole lot of malicious intent in this movie, which I really like. Like, especially with, like we said earlier, the crate and barrel gag and everything like that.
And especially with everything being so sexual coded, that it could turn very bad very fast. But since it does all feel pretty positive.
Exactly. Gene is very supported in this camp.
Yeah, but that does kind of make you forget, like, oh, the whole thing is a big joke about how the crazy guy who was in the war, isn't it so funny that he says all these weird things to himself?
Of course, yeah.
Where it's like, painting a picture that is pretty stereotyping in a negative way, for sure.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, all it would take would be, like, one or two well-written jokes.
I was just about to say,
make light of that. Him being like, I have to be here to get my benefits. Or, so, something like, the system really fucks me. I'm so glad to have people. I don't know.
It's just a little bit too unfunny for it to be, like, getting away with any of this. Like, exactly. I wish it sits on the same scale as, I think, Drop Dead Gorgeous, but I think it's at the very far end, and Drop Dead Gorgeous is on the other end.
But I feel like Drop Dead Gorgeous to me is, like, actually satire, whereas this was, like, kind of something else.
It was almost earnest. There was a little bit of it that was earnest.
Again, like a sketch to sketch, bit to bit, scene to scene basis. Yeah. Some of it tonally was more satirical than other bits of it.
I do think that this movie could be improved by Allison Janney.
Oh, well, of course, all movies.
Any and every movie, of course. But yeah, that one, like, if we just replaced the camp director with her.
Right. And she falls in love with that.
This would have been a 7 out of 10 than a 5 out of 10.
Right. The camp director, I will say, again, in my mind, it's like she was supposed to kind of be the straight man, but that just, like, didn't really work. But I do appreciate for 2001 that she was portrayed as being, like, competent at her job.
Yeah.
Like,
I appreciate that.
Like, everyone seemed to respect her a great deal. Like, Paul Rudd, even though he's, like, being a bad boy and knocking stuff over, when she's like, hey, pick that up, he does. He, like, flips her off and stuff, but he still does
it. He picks it up.
I feel like an easier choice for this movie would have been everyone just, like, shitting on this incompetent woman all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas I was like, yeah, the camp was Jewish also. There were, like, a couple of jokes about that didn't really, that were just, like, very stereotypical, that, again, like, these could have actually been funny. Like, about how, it's a Jewish camp, but, like, only 10% of the kids who go here are even Jewish. Like, something like that,
Yeah, like, there was
make a joke of it.
Yeah, the gag, like, the African sprinter getting the capture the flag, like, everything. It was just almost funny.
The movie was a little white as well.
Absolutely. I don't think there was a single brown person there.
I think that it had the benefit of a couple of really funny women being in that writer's room and, on that set. That I think a lot of the scenes probably were punched up a lot.
Well, you thought, talked a lot about, before we watched this, about how there was probably a lot of improv that went on that really helped it along.
Yeah, right. And I'm sure Amy Poehler giving notes to somebody probably could have made a scene 1,000 times better than it would have been otherwise. I just think that there was a little bit of a lack of diversity in the perspective. Maybe, like, this movie could have been funnier.
I don't know. I'm looking now. David Wayne, the director. I mean, this is just about the only thing that I think he's ever done.
Yeah, I don't know that man. I didn't really know this movie before today, though, so I can't. I don't really know. I don't really know where this movie stands within like, the culture. Like, I don't really know how people feel about this movie. If somebody was like, I love this movie, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about why. It feels like one that if I saw it when I was younger, it might have had a bigger impact. Brooke, I'm going to personally apologize because I see you have this rated 5 of 5 stars on Letterboxd. So we're going to need you to write in.
No, but parts of this movie had me wheezing. Like, parts of this movie were really funny. And it does have a rewatchable factor because I felt like I got something out of it on my second viewing, for sure.
Yeah. I think I just would have appreciated it more if I had seen this, like, when I was, like, maybe 12. And a little more susceptible to, like, easy humor.
Well, yeah. Just talking about sex doesn't quite cut it.
Yeah, from my old ass brain.
But I will say, given that it was like a blockbuster summer movie from 2001 that I had never really thought about before, I was kind of surprised by a couple things.
I saw Together pretty recently with Dave Franco and Alison Brie.
Tell me about that.
It was decent. I couldn't say I was wowed. I think I gave it like 3 stars. It was cute. It was definitely, I think, purposefully bad writing at the beginning, but I enjoyed it. I would probably throw it on again as like sort of background noise, but I wasn't wowed in the way that like I'm really hoping Weapons does it for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of like Twitter chatter about it, but I feel like I always seem to sort of miss the boat on these like horror. Like I didn't see Barbarian. I didn't see Talk to Me.
Have you seen Barbarian at all?
No, and I feel like girl. I don't know. A lot of them I just sort of it ends up sort of just passing me by. So I'm gonna try to go see it, but I don't know. I usually end up like landing pretty neutrally. Have you seen these ones?
Have you seen Eddington yet?
No, I haven't seen Eddington yet.
I have almost no desire to. One thing that has been suggested to me by multiple people is K-pop Demon Hunters.
Same on the recommend. Lots of people are talking about it. I guess I'll have to get around. It's only 90 minutes and it's on Netflix.
Is it a movie?
It's a movie.
No, I thought it was a show.
No, I also thought it was a show, and I was like, don't be recommending a Netflix original show to me. Like, fuck you.
Okay.
No, it's a movie. Yeah.
Okay, this makes a difference.
Yes, that's
right.
I said the same thing. I was like, oh, it's a movie. I'll watch it then.
I can sit down for 90 minutes. I'm not sitting down to watch a show, K-pop Demon Hunters, but I'll give her 90 minutes of my time. Sure, why not?
My movie buddy texted me because we were discussing back and forth about what's out right now, Freakier Friday, who's to say, but Honey Don't.
It looks really bad.
Is that it's less talented
fucking yes, Coen brother. Yes, so this
and he's doing like his lesbian trilogy.
His lesbian trilogy with Margaret Qualley, essentially. Yeah,
And is she the same character?
No, I don't know what's going on here, but it was one of those things. I remember seeing Drive Away Dolls in the theater of like winter of last year or something like that, and I had a really fun time. I really enjoyed it. Dara, I sat you down to watch it maybe like 2 or 3 months ago,
bad.
And I was cringing in my seat. I was really embarrassed. I was like, sorry, I don't know why I put this on. Like, do you know what I mean? Have you ever had a movie like that where you're like,
it's like the YouTube video and you're like suffering. You're like, haha, this is funny, watch it, and then the person watching it does not think it's funny, and you're like suffering, and you're like,
exactly.
It's like it gets to a point where you're like, should I just take my phone back? And you're like, oh, fuck.
So I'm not. I can't say I'm expecting a lot out of Honey Don't. Aubrey Plaza, sure, fine.
Apparently they be fucking.
Sure, whatever. I don't know. Margaret Qualley does not give me a passable lesbian vibe, but whatever.
I like Charlie Day.
But I hate Chris Evans, so.
Yeah, and that's really fair. And also, I didn't know that Patrick Swayze has a 67-year-old son named Don Swayze who looks just fucking like him.
Wow. Yeah, he does look just like him. 67, that's...
Oh, no, that was his brother. Oh, my God, I'm so stupid.
Okay.
I'm like, he has a 67-year-old son? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, Don Swayze, it's his brother.
Oh, okay, that makes way more sense. But he's in this, I'm assuming?
His brother. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, but other than that, nothing else. Weapons is just the thing that I need to get to.
Mm-hmm.
I am really interested in seeing Naked Gun, however. And I've heard good things about Sorry Baby as well.
What is Sorry Baby?
A movie. Here's the Letterboxd description.
It's what's it? Give me a genre.
Oh, I don't even know. Drama? Probably. Yeah. It's just something bad happened to Agnes. Life goes on for everyone around her, at least. So I don't know. I've heard really good things, though, so we'll see. This is the first, the directorial debut of Ava Victor. So, we'll see. Keep your eyes peeled.
I am personally anything about it.
I have no idea what it is.
Keep your eyes peeled for what?
Listen, girl, I have no idea. I'm keeping my eyes peeled for Paul Mescal, who was in Boston over this weekend.
Doing what?
I don't know. I saw him at the Red Sox game online. But I was out and about. I said, where's my boyfriend? With his girlfriend.
Keeping your little... Is he still dating fucking Gracie Abrams?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever. But I am very excited for The History of Sound, which I think comes out in like September or something. The one with him and Josh O'Connor.
That's one that I feel like is gonna be like, try it to get some Oscar drum, and it's not gonna quite cut it.
No chance.
It's not gonna quite cut it.
No.
Like, you're gonna see it on like one Variety article pre-Oscar prediction list, and then it's never gonna get mentioned again.
I'm sure.
We'll see.
Yeah, but should we get into our regularly scheduled programming?
Right. Fuck, marry, kill. Who do we want to say are like the three main? I feel like we'll count the teen counselors because they're 30.
Yeah,
like Amy
course.
Poehler counts.
Yeah.
Even though she's
I don't know if I can even whittle it down to 3. Should we just keep it open to
yeah, I guess so. I feel like I'm gonna marry Jean, obviously.
Obviously.
I'm gonna I'll fuck Niles.
Yeah.
I'll fuck Niles.
Sure.
Go crazy on that associate professor.
Yeah,
dick.
that stash was crazy.
I don't know, like, Elizabeth Banks was really hot in this movie. Like, I would bang her, but it just, like, feels wrong. It feels like the male gaze, you know?
Oh, I don't care. I'm gonna fuck her.
Yeah, you're gonna, yeah.
I'm gonna fuck Elizabeth Banks, and then I'm gonna marry Amy Poehler, and then I'm gonna kill...
I'm gonna kill the camp director. I'm gonna kill Janine Garofalo.
I think it's a great idea. I think killing Janine is a great idea. I'm gonna pivot and go for... Who was the guy with the bowl cut?
Oh.
What was his name?
Moose.
Yeah, the one that was, like, pining over...
No, I don't even know that guy's name.
The one that was pining over...
Katie.
Yeah, Katie.
Cooper? Was his name Coop? And they called him
Coop. Yeah, I'm gonna kill Coop.
Ew, yeah. Because it was every scene that he was in that I was like...
I'm exhausted.
Yeah. That felt 10,000. Like, I was like... They're not keeping the pace. It was like sometimes the pacing was so good and funny, and then it just... stunted to a halt.
Dude, it was just a hard pivot.
Halted to just like unfunny and slow. Crazy. We will keep the pacing up in cold, dry Canadian winter, don't you worry.
Yeah. But your food and drink.
I
liked what we did. We got sandwiches.
Yeah, we got like deli sandwiches. When I went to Horny Summer Camp, it was all indoor kids.
Of course.
It was
yeah.
It was
I went to music camp. What kind of camp did you go to?
It was called Project Contemporary Competitiveness Advanced Studies Program, PCCASP. Was like
so like for like
you had to apply and
advanced kids or something.
Yeah, like gifted, quote unquote gifted program.
Sure.
But really it was just like out of college, and if your parents could pay to send you and you wanted to do academic shit over the summer, like here you go.
Yeah.
But also, you know, like kids between the ages of 13 to 15.
Sure,
so it was like a cesspool of like sweaty, horny nerds.
Yeah, at its worst.
But you got to take classes, and actually I was thinking a lot about like the classes that I chose to take. So I did like a music class, like a band class,
of course.
like camp. It was very camp rock, and we had like a rock show at the end of the summer in front of like a stadium. Did one of those, It was very cool. Whatever. And they also had like a theater department that I was not a part of, but like sort of was proxy to. So I sort of got to observe some really intense theater camp energy.
I bet.
But I wasn't like directly a part of it.
No one wants that.
But I took photography, and then I took TV production.
Oh, that's fun.
Which was really cool. We got to go down to the local news station every week and watch them like film the weather and the news and stuff.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
It was cool. And then we got to stay behind and like use their equipment. And,
nice.
you know, like we got to film like news parodies and stuff. It was really fun. And then I took a law class where we went on a field trip to a prison.
Oh,
and
that's way less fun.
We got to have lunch with the prisoners. No, it was like actually kind of fun.
Oh, okay, cool.
But there was a class, so I always think about the other ones I didn't pick, and I wish I picked. They let some kids fly planes.
What?
There was an aviation class where it was a 6-week-long summer camp. So you take a 6-week-long, basically, flight training class, and at the end of the summer, they let these kids do like solo flights.
Bro,
crazy. Nathan Fielder's out here breaking the autism rule. I'm like, they were letting these autistic 14-year-old boys fly a plane. It was like there was an instructor and all that.
Sure.
It was safe. But I was like, I was not interested in being with all the math boys for 6 weeks. But I'm like, damn, I wish I flew a plane. That would have been cool. Way cooler than my fucking knowing how to change the ISO setting on a fucking Canon.
That's not the same.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But the big, we also got to eat at like a college dining hall for all our meals.
That's a big
which
deal.
was very like primo because it was.
You feel very cool. Well, you get to pick your own meal.
Yep, it was
every day,
and being
that's
like,
pretty nice.
Yeah, as a 13-year-old, you're like, I'm gonna have soda at every meal.
Of course. It's
crazy. But the big one was lunch when it was chicken fritters, and that just means chicken, like little chicken popcorn chicken.
Yeah.
Or like
fantastic.
Like more than a nugget, less than a tender.
Of course.
A chicken fritter and chicken fritter day. So I think you could have like popcorn chicken. That's my nostalgic camp meal. And then you make your own Baja Blast, which is when they don't have it at the soda machine, but you mix together the blue Powerade and 7-Up.
That's excellent. I'm going to say a BLT. That's what I had tonight. A BLT and some lemonade.
That's nice.
You really can't go wrong.
And then after this movie, what I'm yearning for is the absence of, we get this really funny training montage of Gene and Coop. And like after Gene has his big public fridge humping scene, and then Coop kind of gets dumped by Katie, and he's like crying, and then they like do this, he learns how to dance, like they go to a dance studio and they like do all these dance routines.
It was like, very dirty dancing.
He's like sitting in a circle, like an AA circle, like it's just like really funny. But then it's sort of like is all this build up to him just like wearing a crop top and coming in to the talent show and being like, Katie, here's my shirt in a little box. Hope you have a nice rest of your summer. Like, I'm gonna really show you. But then he doesn't like do a dance or anything, which is fine because we got that out of the montage. But I don't
really need all that. Yeah.
And the big finale here was the gust of wind from the Big Bang Theory guy.
Oh my god, how could I forget?
Which was really funny. But I'm wanting a big dance routine, so I think you should watch Napoleon Dynamite.
Excellent choice.
Which is another like early 2000s comedy that some of it you're like, how is this aging? But then you're like, on the whole, like, pretty
generally
good.
It's all right.
Very funny. And I would say Napoleon Dynamite is way funnier than Wet Hot American Summer. But that's more like my kind of humor, like funny, rather than I feel like this is like more, I don't know, raunchy humor.
This movie is very middle of the road for me, and the only other really horny summer camp movie that I can say is also very middle of the road for me is Friday the 13th.
I've never seen it.
It's so fine. That's it.
It like defined the genre.
And it is the horny teens at summer camp movie. So I think you go and take a peek at that. But I think it would be a little more satisfying because there are some kids in this movie that I'm like, I wish they got slashed.
Yeah. It is the spawning point.
Yes, much. Exactly.
Yeah, I can see that. Out of 10, I'm going to give this a 4.
I'm going to give it a 5. Like I said, it's super middle of the road.
Yeah.
She's fine. I don't think I'm going to put her on again anytime soon.
It does seem exactly like the kind of shit that they would turn into like 6 different Netflix shows.
I'm
like
sure.
Just beating the dead horse of this IP until these actors are like, please, can I get out of this contract?
Yeah. I would be keen to see if the one that's like 10 years later or whatever, because they make this pact at the beginning of the movie.
They set up the sequel quite well, actually.
They set up the sequel, and they do the sequel, and I'd be keen to see if that one makes it onto our sequels that are better than the first.
Am I ever gonna watch it though?
Absolutely not.
Is the real
Someone
question.
tell us, is the sequel Wet Hot American Summer 10 years later?
The way though that there was actually like a split second of time where the movie starts and it's still early enough in the film where I'm like, maybe this could have happened, but like in retrospect, I'm like, they were really queuing up that it was like this one day, this 24-hour, like we're gonna go through the time markers. So I don't know why I didn't pick up on that when I was having this thought. But when they were like, oh, we're gonna meet back here in 10 years, and I'm like, oh, because they all look 30 and then we're gonna cut and it's gonna be about the crazy horny reunion that they have when they're all actually adults. And I was like, that's why they cast all these 30-year-olds, is because it's like, oh, we're just gonna do it's like a comic
we're aging them down.
But then I was like, oh wait, no, that's just how this movie is. But it was, self-aware enough that I was not that bothered by it.
Yeah, fair enough. But thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for listening to The Swamp. Ending up the summer, we will be hitting you with a little bit of more camp next week. But then who's to say what the future holds for us?
We're always taking suggestions. This was from friend of the pod, Brooke Drew.
Shouts out Brooke Drew, and shouts out to all of you who leave comments in any capacity. You can email us, you can do whatever. You can also find us on Letterboxd.
Yes.
I would also, if you're at this point of the podcast and you've listened this far and you don't have a Letterboxd account, this isn't sponsored, but you should just probably have one. If you like movies, I highly encourage. You don't even have to use it for the social aspect. Just keep a watch diary. Keep a little diary.
That's what I do. Half the time I'm just keeping everything in my watch list.
It's nice.
I love it.
Goodbye. And good night, and have a lovely rest of your week.